Good morning, everyone. Welcome to BSC News Live with me, Tom, and Ben. Also, quite an interesting day today. Later on in the show, in about 20 minutes, we are going to have very special guest, Hyperspace, come on. But we'll be talking about that very shortly. However, today, you might already be aware, Core trading went live. I'm just going to bring up the window. Hold on a second. So this is on Huobi exchange. I'm not logged in here. I'm about to log in on my mobile. I didn't want to, have my exchange account shared with the whole wide world, and my 13 cents of USDT displayed. So at the moment, Core is trading at $4.16. However, obviously it's a newly released pair, Core/USDT. It is reasonably volatile. I think, Ben, you know a lot about Core and also obviously Pi than me, and there seems to be sort of mixed reactions from the community about this. The price. Would you be able to tell us a little bit more about Core trading and the community's response to it?
Sure. So, Core, similar to Pi, was like a free to mine, token on your phone, and the confusion. The token went live just like a couple hours ago, and people could basically go and claim what they've mined. And I think the Core team even called it like claim your airdrop, right? Now the confusion really comes in because in MetaMask, where people had claimed their airdrop, it displayed a price of Core. And this is probably like a mistake because there was no price because there was no market for it, right? But it said like one Core was equal to like $6,500.
Oh, okay.
So the expectations were obviously set extremely high. Trading opened up at like $4, $5. Honestly, the price action has like held up really well if you look at it. It's not like it like went to $6,000 and fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like just been around $4 to $6. So, but of course, people saw like, oh, the one Core I had, I thought it was worth $6,000. Turns out it's worth $5.
Yeah, and that's quite a big difference. 6,000 to 4. Where did this number 6,000 come from?
It's just what was displayed in MetaMask. So you know, like where it says like BNB and it'll say like how much USD it is.
Yes,
it was there. So it said like you have 0.1 Core and it's worth $650. I'm actually pointing at my MetaMask, which is why I'm going like this because it's like I have it open right there on my.
Apologies. Yes, sorry, I sneezed. Yeah, and to add it to MetaMask, to add Core to MetaMask, all you need to do, type in Google how to add Core to MetaMask. The very first result is, in our opinion, the most trusted and the best way to do it. So it's the featured snippet at the very top of Google, and it's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do click on the link, though, to get some more information about it. All you need to do, click on the link, and it will take you to the only BSC News, how to add Core to MetaMask. And it tells you in very simple terms there how to do it. However, what I'm doing at the moment, you might have seen me sort of looking down at the screen, clicking some buttons. I'm not just playing Snake or anything on my phone. I'm actually trying to get some Core on Huobi. It's not an exchange that I use very often, so I'm having to transfer USDT to there to actually get Core, and then buy Core and then send Core to my MetaMask. So I might just take a few more minutes sort of tapping around on here and getting this Core, and hopefully during the stream as well, Ben will show you sort of how to live stake Core. And you mentioned, Ben, as well, that staking for Core at the moment is very attractive.
Yeah, so the APR right now is showing like 2,500%. So you go to stake.coredao.org.
Okay.
And yeah, if I had Core in my wallet, I would be able to delegate it right now. So hopefully I can do that soon. Because again,
Yep.
like, so anyone that mined it for free, right, along this way, even if you only got a half a core, you could stake it for high APR and kind of see what happens. So I would expect the price to sell off more, but I don't know how much was airdropped compared to the total supply.
Yeah,
So
indeed. Okay.
I think, and then how many of the miners have Huobi accounts, things like that. That comes into play also. So to me right now, I think the play for me would be just go ahead and delegate it.
Yeah. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if Huobi support BNB, and if they do, I'll be able to send BNB via BEP20. They do. Fantastic. Oh, dearie me. What's happened here?
What happened?
Well, just a little dip, but
It's the core dip.
exactly. Yeah, people are selling their BNB to get core, which is fine. Okay. And Pi as well. So what's the main differences between Pi and core?
I'll say Pi has a more core is EVM, Pi's not. That's a
Okay.
technology difference. Pi has that KYC blockchain kind of deal. Core does not. Pi is taking more time to like build out their ecosystem prior to like a token launch like this, whereas Core is just like kind of more like a typical blockchain release. So, I mean, in terms of, and also I believe core mining is over. I think it was just ahead of the release. So now you can delegate to a validator, but you can't mine it anymore on your phone. And core core combines Bitcoin proof of work mining with like proof of stake Ethereum model. It combines the two. It's kind of the mining logic behind it.
Okay. I'm about to send BNB to Huobi. And then I'll be able to purchase some core. Apologies, this is a bit of a long-winded process, but I think it'd be quite interesting to see staking core live. Okay, hold on a moment. Ledger 1, send some BNB to that address. Don't need to.
Are core withdrawals open on Huobi? I'm kind of assuming they are, but they might not be since trading went live like 2 hours ago.
I'll check before I do this.
That might be worth looking into.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm guessing they are.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on a second. Withdraw. Core. Nope.
Not live yet?
Not live. It says withdrawal suspended. So
it'll come soon.
Yeah. So I mean, the question now though is, well, do I buy core now and hope it goes up, or
I think you buy it. I think you buy it now.
Okay, Ben knows best. Let's do this.
I don't know best. I definitely don't know best, but my hunch is that it's not easy to sell this airdrop. So anyone that wants to get in has to buy it on an exchange.
Indeed, yeah. Okay.
That's my logic.
Right. Transferring some BNB to Huobi now. I just need to review and do the transaction on my ledger. By the way, it's very important. If you can get your hands on a hardware wallet, do use one, people. They do add sort of another layer of security to DeFi transactions. Okay, so I've sent my BNB now to Huobi. So hopefully that'll come through soon. And when that does, I will purchase some core. Hopefully, the price has been going down a little bit. So it first released, and then it wicked up right to 39. So hopefully we'll be able to maybe see sort of reversal back up there. But again, who knows? And with Pi as well, the price for that on different exchanges is obviously, it varies wildly between exchanges because you can't withdraw it at the moment. And essentially, because the mainnet isn't open, there's huge discrepancies with the price between exchanges. Do you have an idea, perhaps, what the price might settle at for Pi token when mainnet is live and released and available?
It's a large token supply, and a lot of people are currently getting it for pushing a button. So a couple bucks, I think would be reasonable. I know that would disappoint a lot of people, but at the same time, there's no free. You don't get to become a millionaire for free. So if it launches, just to give you an idea, if it were to be $60 at mainnet, that would mean that I am currently making around $360 a day pushing a button once a day. Which, if that happened, then wonderful. But I would have zero expectation of that happening.
Yeah, a lot of people as well mining Pi at the moment say, "Oh, we're not going to sell." But people have been pressing this button for a couple of years, and I can't see that. I can see obviously some people holding. That's fine, but I can see the majority of people selling. Basically, they've clicked this button, they've seen this number grow on their phone. Obviously, they can use Pi Mile at the moment, which is great, but not really that much more. And fiat will offer them a lot more. So I can see that, that the price going down to maybe a couple of dollars. I know that's might be a controversial opinion, particularly those people that are real fans of Pi. However, that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, hopefully my BNB has come through on Huobi. Yes, it has. So I'm now going to buy some core. I'm going to do it all on my phone again, just because I don't really want to share my exchange account details on screen. One thing as well that quickly popped up on Huobi was the hold on a sec. Token. It'll be okay. Actually, I'm just going to quickly buy my Pi. I need to sell my BNB first. Right. So markets, favorites. So Huobi had a token. I forgot what it was called. But it was their own network or a network that was supported by them. And I can't remember what it was called or what it is called.
Is it HT?
Oh,
you're talking about Cube. Are you talking about Cube?
Yeah. Is that? Oh, I can't.
Cube is gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay. Was that supported by Huobi?
It was.
Okay.
Cube is no longer a thing.
Oh, well.
Did you own a bunch of Cube?
I used to. And then it went down, obviously, a lot in price, which is a shame. And then I don't own any more. I did also have something called Corn. And the price of that just unfortunately kept on going down and down. But you win some, you lose some, eh? That's crypto. Okay. Anyway, time to sell my BNB. Something that I don't like doing. BNB. Okay, I'm searching for BNB. BNB/USDT. Trade. I'm going to sell it all as a market order. 100% for USDT. And then buy some core. Okay. So I am now going to buy core at a market price of, and then hopefully tomorrow on the stream we'll be able to withdraw it. I don't know when or if withdrawals are going to open on Huobi, but when it does, obviously we can play around with it a little bit. Okay, buy my core, 100% of USDT at. Okay, let's do a market order. Hopefully this won't wick the price up. If you see the price, wick up to $100.
Your massive whale order coming in right now.
My massive $60. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, buy core. Here we go. Fantastic. Okay, I think it wicked up a cent, maybe. That's the thing with very, very active new pairs. There's not really much in the order book. So if you do place a large market order, it can just rip through the order book and and really, well, change the price a lot. Anyway, yeah, so that's core. I'm just going to actually quickly go back to core, see what it's doing. Because now that I'm invested in core, it'd be interesting to see what's going on. Anyway, sorry that I appear a little bit. I'm trying to do many things at the same time. I accidentally typed a message to Ben internally that doesn't really make sense.
Huobi.
Yeah. Okay.
Core just launched a couple hours ago. Like for me, it's like I literally just woke up and was like, all right, here it is. Fantastic.
No, that's good. Okay. And shortly, as I said earlier, as well, Hyperspace will be joining us. I'm just going to make sure everything's okay with them as well. And I think it is, yeah. So a couple of minutes. Oh, and Hypermine seem to be here. So I'm just going to change my tab and bring up. Sorry, not Hypermine. I'm getting mixed up with projects now. Hyperspace. So before we introduce Hyperspace, I'm going to bring up Hyperspace. So to access Hyperspace, it's just hyperspace.xyz. Before we get on to Hyperspace, though, I'm just going to say a quick word from one of our sponsors, which is Bloxroot. So you may have seen on if you trade DeFi, you may have seen on perhaps PooCoin or DexScreen or something, a buy order and then a buy and then a sell. Normally, sometimes within the same block. That happens very, very quickly. And that's between your transactions. So it might be a very large buy, say 40 BNB, and then your buy might be, I don't know, 1 BNB, and then their sell might be 41 BNB. And this is called front running or a sandwich attack. And this can happen for a number of reasons. Often it's when perhaps use too much slippage, but sometimes that can't be avoided. The token might be very volatile. And there'll be good reasons to use slippage, maybe tax reasons. However, to avoid this, all you need to do is add. I'm just going to bring this up. It looks as though my QR code for Bloxroot, who are our sponsor, isn't actually on my little quick access dashboard. So I'll bring that up after Hyperspace and get back to that as well. But that's something, again, to look forward to. It's completely free. All you need to do is change your MetaMask RBC URL for Bloxroot. And I'll have that link for you very, very shortly, sort of in the little side, as it's been in previous streams. I will come back to that shortly, though. However, without further ado, we have the Brian Junn from Hyperspace. So welcome, Brian, to the stream. Great to have you here. Thank you very, very much for your time. And yeah, wonderful to have you here. Would you like to actually, I'll just say who we are quickly, just for a bit of context. So my name's Tom. I do a lot of the social media stuff here at BSC News. And down there is Ben, one of the co-founders of BSC News and also the CFO. Brian, would you like to introduce yourself and maybe a little bit about the team at Hyperspace?
Yeah, you guys sound super professional with this British accent, I assume.
I'm British, yeah, and then I think Ben's from New England, and then
the newer version, yeah, that's right.
Exactly, yes, New York, New Boston, whatever, and yeah, lovely. Yeah, good to meet you, Brian. How are you?
Great. Great to be here. My name is Brian, one of the open faces of Solana, proudly repping my own face on Twitter. Our team has built Hyperspace together. I guess for brief intros of who we are and what we do, we started back in August of last year now. Wow, 2021 with Solana Analysis. It was a front page for Solana NFTs. We saw that there was a need to display stats-like information. A lot of us coming from traditional finance quickly recognize the trading needs of traders of NFT space. I think at the onstart, it was the day of probably the DAA mint or perhaps SMB. There are 3 projects on there. For reference, I think now we probably aggregate or index around 125,000 projects on Hyperspace
Wow.
now. We've always had aspirations to become a aggregator, quickly recognizing that there was going to be a need to aggregate a wide variety of marketplace fragmentation, I think we thought was inevitable, which we've clearly seen in the past year or two. Since our rebranding in February of last year, we've been Hyperspace since then. A quick intro on the team, we're 9 full-time currently. Started with 6 back in August/November of 2021. Have grown since then. A team of brilliant, much smarter than I, developers and growth people, business folks stemming from investment banks like myself or big tech like some of the other developers on the team. We just continue to build on Solana for the best solution, best trading experience, and we're looking to not only bridge the gap between mass adoption and us, but also just bring on over a great Web3 experience for everyone involved.
Fantastic. And obviously, yeah, as you mentioned, you aggregate a lot of Solana NFT projects. Do you get all this data? Is it all just from on-chain data, or are there some other marketplace, perhaps APIs utilized as well, or is it just literally all on-chain data and you aggregate it to Hyperspace?
For sure. So our information is definitely from on-chain data. Granted, our enablement of buying listings directly. So, for example, sweeping across various marketplaces is through their IDLs. So I'm definitely a big brain myself, but some marketplaces allow us to do that and help us out to do it. Other marketplaces, we have figured out how to do it without their perhaps direct permission, given the open web ethos and interoperability. But in short, we do access on-chain information, and we work with marketplaces to allow direct buying as aggregators do.
Fantastic. And obviously here, you can essentially buy NFTs through or on Hyperspace, recently listed on Hyperspace. Are these NFTs directly listed on Hyperspace, or are they listed on other platforms, but then you can sort of buy them via Hyperspace? Do you act as your own marketplace as well as an aggregator?
Yeah, I think that's the unique concept here where I use Expedia or Google Flights, for example, but Google doesn't have an airline and Expedia certainly doesn't have an airline. But in this case, Hyperspace does have its own contract that people list there. So as you can see here, recently listed on Hyperspace, these are all NFTs that are listed on Hyperspace directly. I think our contract to show a little bit has always been 1% marketplace fee from the beginning on the seller side. We've respected creator royalties from the beginning, have no intentions to change it. We're escrow list, so when you list on Hyperspace, the NFT stays in your wallet. And I would argue those are probably the three core competency points of our own contract.
Fantastic, and that's one of the interesting and perhaps good things about Solana. As well, a lot of these marketplaces, obviously including Hyperspace, the NFT stays in your wallet essentially until it's sold. A lot of EVM marketplaces that I'm used to, say on BNB chain, Ethereum, that sort of thing, you'll have to put the NFT on their contract on their site, so it's not in your wallet basically, and until it's sold, it'll stay sort of on their site within their smart contract. And so you won't have it in your wallet. But yeah, one of the good things about, obviously, as you said, Hyperspace and a lot of Solana projects as well, it stays in your wallet until it's sold, which is very useful indeed. Is that something that's perhaps to an extent, or in your opinion, unique to Solana? I know it can be possible on other chains, but it seems to be happening a lot more on Solana. Do you know perhaps why that is, and also from a technical perspective, is that difficult to implement?
Yeah, I would say I'm certainly a proponent of not speaking over my head. So I'm probably not as certain in terms of cross-chain or multi-chain possibilities. I'm uncertain of what Ethereum's up to, what Aptos is up to, what Polygon's up to. I do think that it's something that's been more prevalent within Solana. I guess to play my own devil's advocate, I'm unsure how much the average user actually cares about it. If I ask the average Joe on Twitter, do you care about being escrowless? There's probably not much there's not that much fear, because the selling point is that if a website goes down or if a platform goes down, the NFT is still safe in your wallet and you're able to delist without their permission. It's truly permissionless, the same way that escrowless is escrowless. On a technology standpoint, while we do have brilliant devs, my understanding is that it's not a difficult task. It's just a platform / political choice of what they believe is true. For example, Magic Eden is escrow, and we've been back and forth with them about it before, but they have their fair reasons of why they keep it escrowed, not because they're unable to go escrowless, but because they believe it's a safer approach that aligns to what they believe is the right way to do things.
Very interesting. No, thank you. There's one of my colleagues, Dan, who does a lot of work. Behind the scenes for BSC News. He is very much in Solana. And what he's often talking about and the developments there are very, very interesting, because obviously there are developments on the EVM side of things, perhaps he just makes the developments on the Solana side a little more vocal, maybe. And why Solana as well? Why have you chosen, or why are you on Solana? Would you be able to tell us your thoughts on the Solana blockchain? I assume that you're a fan of Solana.
I think there's probably a three reasons: a really realistic reason, a technological reason, and then probably a philosophical reason. And to go from probably the most lame to the most exciting, it was opportunity seizing. I think back in the time, in August of 2021, we were seizing an opportunity to see what was in the market, what's a good open blue ocean opportunity. And back then, Solana Summer was brewing up, but there wasn't that much infrastructure ready. I'm sure others had similar thoughts to us, and we recognized and seized an opportunity there, and knew that this world was about to come up. So on a business perspective, it's something that we knew that blue ocean opportunity existed, and that Ethereum obviously was already saturated, and we could probably take similar concepts that apply to Solana and seize that market opportunity. On a technological standpoint, everyone probably says the same thing here, but low gas fees allows for mass adoption to be easier. It's more fun trading just because there's practically zero shipping costs. Imagine if it's like using Prime on Amazon. You want to trade or buy more things or sell more things. If to do so is quite cheap compared to Ethereum, and inevitably you would have to start comparing to Ethereum, given that it's the NFT king, at least at the time. And then I think furthermore, there's the whole Anatoly overall Solana talk of hardware is easier to scale than software, proof of work versus proof of stake. There's just different things that make Solana, I think, more in Solana meme terms for the pores, in the sense that I think it's enjoyable for people to join and a lower barrier to entry. And then I think the philosophical, probably the more exciting part is I think Solana is fun. I think that's something that people under talk about because it sounds lame and it's not a technological thing and it's not a business perspective. But at the end of the day, to this date, NFTs has largely been around entertainment, and it gives people something to talk about, something to enjoy. And that's something that I think has inevitable value. It's something that Solana has been pretty strong on from the forefront, and it's something that we hold true to. So while we want to keep professionalism alive in the scope of our business running, I think it's also important that the culture within Solana is about entertainment and being fun and being degenerate that we want to be true to.
Yeah, one thing about Solana that I think is very unique to Solana that other chains perhaps haven't quite grasped is, the fun. And I think Phantom Wallet and their sort of easy to use user interface and the colors that also Solana adopts as well, the sort of blue, green, purple, that sort of thing, is just very easy and nice to use. So for example, Phantom Wallet, when you click on it as a Chrome extension, all your NFTs sort of load up in a very sort of nice display. I'm not saying MetaMask is bad. It's just a bit more serious. Whereas Phantom Wallet, it's nice to look at. All your NFTs are there, and I do like having NFTs in my wallet, even if they're up for sale on a marketplace. I do sort of like seeing all the collection there. So I do agree with you that. Phantom Wallet, not Phantom Wallet, Solana in general has got that, fun sort of feel to it, which is great. And recently on Solana, there's been some, with Utes, that sort of, bridging or moving across to Polygon. What are your thoughts on that? Has that made people maybe a little bit more wary about using Solana? Have you seen any negative impact of that? And in general, what are your thoughts on that collection? Going to Polygon.
A couple of things I think surrounding that with my personal opinions aside. I think it's actually given Solana as a foundation, as an ecosystem, almost a motivating catalyst to do better as not only an ecosystem, but given the entity structure of the foundation of the chain itself, for them to really think about what is keeping people in Solana and what is taking people out of Solana. Clearly, Polygon has done, whether we want to admit it or not, a somewhat job of BDing or business developing people into going over to them, and it's a pretty strategic decision for them to do. And I think they've somehow recently become the champion of bridging Web2 companies over and trying to take over more blue chip projects. But at the end of the day, I think one thing that matters a lot is people are still on Solana, people are still building on Solana, and one NFT project going over isn't going to make it or break it. Of course, Utes and Z-Gods have done immense things for the ecosystem, whether it's through entertainment or through hype. I don't think the medium matters. The reality is that it has brought in liquidity, it has brought in people, and has gotten people to talk about things, which is quite important in Web3. But at the same time, there's plenty of other blue chip projects that exist. There's plenty of opportunities for more blue chip projects to spring out. And I think one comparison I would make is that if we're still in the early stage of the internet phase of Web3, and a certain ecosystem project or a website or a platform decided to move on to another operating system or a new internet, I don't think that demeans the value of the existing internet, given that The technology has stayed the same. The builders are still there. There's still more people to come into, and on a realistic standpoint, plenty of more money to be deployed and invested. So I think it's a win-win for all. If Utes has decided to go over to Polygon, if DGUS has gone over to ETH, it just further spreads the message that Web3 is a very interoperable place. There's always new opportunities to seize. And we've seen, I think, on a more tangible note, there's a new coalition of blue chip projects that includes Claynosaurus and Famous Foxes and DJ Napes that are coming together to really think about what is the future of Solana, what is the future of NFTs, and how can they collaborate together to make sure that more companies and more projects not only join Solana, but stay within Solana. How can we make Solana better? And is this really something that we're akin to building together? So in short, I think sparks like that, catalysts like that are healthy for the ecosystem. And if anything, I encourage more things to happen in that manner for the growth of the ecosystem.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And one thing as well. Okay, so apologies about all this, all the numbers and things. Yeah, don't worry about all that scribble on the screen. But I think one thing with Solana, people, well, with the FTX fiasco, a lot of people got quite wary about, well, the amount of perhaps Solana that FTX held. And obviously the price has retraced quite a bit from its all-time high. But, what token or coin hasn't retraced from its all-time high? Everything is down from sort of late 2021 or so. Do you think what happened with FTX hit Solana particularly hard? And do you think it's going to fully recover and sort of be back to its all-time highs in the future?
Yeah, here's what I think. This is my quite personal take. And I'm definitely no DeFi or crypto expert by any means, but just thinking in logical terms and financial terms, one, I do think that SBF and FTX's fall probably on a relative scale deeply impacted Solana compared to the others, just because SBF was a Solana maxi to a certain degree. You could argue that Solana's bump was associated with him. I do think that, again, the same with Utco and Polygon, that catalyst ultimately was a necessary push for the ecosystem to go further. It was an inevitable thing. If we knew from the beginning that FTX was an issue, if SBF was an issue. And then largely, this is something that I've been preaching from the beginning. I think volatility in a cryptocurrency that is supporting an ecosystem. So different from Bitcoin's also the same. If we argue that Bitcoin is the gold standard or perhaps the actual cryptocurrency to power the world, if Solana is the one to power the metaverse or NFTs to a certain extent, I don't think volatility in price is perhaps a good sign. Obviously, negative volatility is always bad, but I also think that us hoping that $25 will become $250 is also a telling sign that this industry is still not yet mature. I personally think that $25 retaining for 10 years is a much healthier sign than this 25 becoming 250 tomorrow, given that that's largely out of anticipation and hype that's unsupported, in my opinion. I think given more and more healthier announcements, perhaps Solana will recover to all-time highs. But if it reaches that state and it retains itself, that's probably the most optimal case instead of it jumping up and down as it's done previously. That bump, I think, was probably a mixture of VC decision, unprecedented hype, retail investors coming in without really knowing what they're doing, and just overall instability leading to volatility. I would personally argue that, especially if we're looking for an ecosystem-based, real-world bridging form of cryptocurrency, I would want it to perform or behave closer to regular foreign exchange currency as opposed to cryptocurrency.
I think, well, most people would agree with you there. Obviously, high volatility, high risk, high reward. It can yield you great results, but then things can go in the opposite way. And crypto in general, perhaps arguably, it is still in its infancy. And I think perhaps people are starting to be a little bit more wary of riding maybe, I don't know, volatility waves. Anyway, but one question, Brian, that I have, for you as a person in the Solana ecosystem is that a lot of people involved in the Solana ecosystem talk about the technology within Solana, and they seem to be sort of in it for the tech, so to speak. What are the main sort of differences and potential within the Solana network that aren't there, say in Ethereum and traditional smart contracts? And what does Solana offer, perhaps that other chains can't at the moment?
Yeah, I really do think Solana is probably Web3's best kept secret. The fact that there's only still 20,000-ish active wallets. I personally think that is very bullish, given that there's so many open room for more people to enter. That number probably has fluctuated since then. But if you look at active wallets, whatever that means for you, it's actually not that high, given, especially compared to the amount of liquidity that's going on. That tells me that there's ample room to grow and insane ability to scale in the future. There's a reason why there's interoperability between the different dApps that are being developed. To give a shout out to NFT Backpack, which is trying to almost create this portal into NFTs and more. I've been comparing it to an operating system, which is probably not doing Armani and interest in enough justice, but the ability to click into an NFT and jump into the app that it represents. The ability to just put out throughput and the performance. And overall, I think you mentioned yourself, the user experience and the user interfaces that have been developed within Solana makes it truly an ecosystem as opposed to just a chain or an NFT enabler. I've spoken on XFT Backpack, but there's also Fire Dancer, which is supposed to make validators jump to a whole nother level and just be able to scale at a different rate. And it's always been at the forefront of it, really showing off what Gem Crypto has been working within. Compressed NFTs is also that's coming up down the line. That's going to change the way that NFTs work to a different scale. So I think in short, especially with my technical downfall, there's just so much in the pipeline that hasn't been shown yet. I truly think that in every space that I go into, I tell them that we're in the beer drinking flashlight app phase of the iOS era when the iPhone first came out, and I was in middle school excited about clicking a button and having the camera turn on and be a flashlight. We're merely at the understanding what this technology is able to do, and instead of really applying where the technology can take us.
Very interesting. No, I do agree. There's so much that can be done that I'm sure will be done in the future with crypto and obviously Solana, as you said. One phrase that you use there is, I might get it wrong, compressed NFTs? What is that?
I do think that I probably threw it out as a buzzword, not fully understanding myself. But it's something that Metaplex is working on, the entity behind the NFT standardization. I'm actually just going to look it up and say it's the ability to make cheaper storage, store that NFT on a more efficient way, and be able to mass mint NFTs. Currently, there's inefficiencies with minting NFTs, and I think it's quite literally the ability to compress and store that information on a more effective way, which currently the I would say uncompressed NFTs or decompressed NFTs are stored within on-chain information, whereas on compressed NFTs, this data storage is within RPC providers, which in short, it would be a much more efficient way for these NFTs to be minted and stored. Essentially, these NFTs at the end of the day are pieces of information that's floating around. And I think the ability to compress it the same way that we compress files into zips, allowing them to be transferred more easier and more efficiently. It will be a whole nother scale in terms of how much you can mint. One, I think, real world application or something that I personally can think of is right now, things are limited to 10,000 piece collections, 500 piece collections. But essentially, if we want to NFTify everything or tokenize everything, you would want it to be insanely scalable and have everything have an NFT pairing or something that could really be mass minted. And I think this compressed NFT concept is what's going to take us as an ecosystem to the next level.
Fantastic. Yeah, but with EVM, say if I want to airdrop a load of tokens of different addresses or mint a lot of different NFTs, the gas price can get higher and higher and higher. And especially on Ethereum, the gas prices can just be extortionate sometimes.
Correct.
Yeah, I once heard a person say as well that the gas prices on Solana aren't cheap, but the token is cheap. I mean, to what extent is that true? I mean, are the gas prices going to remain pretty much insignificant in the future, do you think, even with, say, 50 times more people using the network?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of how Solana was built from the beginning. I mentioned briefly before that it's hardware scalable, things like FireDancer, which is a hot button topic slash entity that's being built right now with validating proof of stake versus proof of work. All these things, I think, ultimately are the core competencies of Solana, which makes not only gas fees low, but efficient, and our ability to transfer and trade quick, scalable, and efficient. I have never heard that gas fees on Solana are actually high and the token is cheap. Gas fees, I think, quite literally are cheap. It's decimals of 0.00005 whenever you transfer or buy. And I think regardless of how expensive Solana gets, which I personally hope it doesn't, and I don't think it will remain quite low. And I think because it's such a core part of the Solana identity, the developers behind the Solana blockchain itself will do whatever it takes to maintain that gas fee low. And there will be ecosystem pressure to keep it low, as it's such a selling point of what we've been building for.
Fantastic. Thank you. And one thing that I find quite interesting is, I'm very intrigued about, to an extent, well, not to an extent, but quite excited about. Do tell me if the screen that I'm about to pull up isn't like the official page, by the way, but the Solana mobile. Is this the official page? Because it's solanamobile.com. Is that actually...
I can't 100% confirm, but I would assume, given that you could pre-order, and I think one of us used this website to do it. So I would say so, yeah.
What is this about? And what is going to be a Solana phone? I assume it's going to be fully integrated with Solana. But I mean, do you know much about this upcoming Solana phone?
Yeah, I touched one recently. Someone in our office has one. I jokingly unboxed one on our site. I put it on TikTok for virality. We've been in talks with the Solana team to build a mobile app ourselves, or a dApp for the phone. I think Hyperspace Web3 showing off on a Brian Jun perspective. I think it's important to continuously at least try something. And I think, is the mobile phone going to be a revolutionary next step where my mom starts using Web3? I'm unsure. But I think, especially for current users and potential next wave of adopters, mobile is definitely the next step. It's a very limiting factor on the current state, just for the way that iOS works. There's still clunkiness. You need to be able to move around and use Web3. Currently, Web3 is quite limited to the desktop, laptop space in terms of wallet integration. You have to clunkily use Phantom to get onto Hyperspace to buy. If there was an ability to do it directly through a phone, I think that's going to change the ability to use it all day, for example, or show it off to your friend. Or let's say you and I grab a drink and we want to do something Web3-like. The ability to do it, I think, through that phone is going to change accessibility. And it's not about taking technology to a new step, because smartphones have existed. We're taking a existing concept and putting on a Web3 outfit onto it. But I think it's a long overdue thing for Web3, and that the fact that Solana is at the forefront of taking that step, I think, is quite fundamental to the vision that Solana seems to have, and a good DNA move for it to continue to build on it. So I think my three-piece statement would be, it's something that was a long time coming. I'm glad that Solana is doing it, and I'm sure that there will be foreseen and unforeseen impact coming from it.
Great. I think it looks cool. Like a lot of things in the Solana ecosystem, obviously Hyperspace, Phantom Wallet, and now this Solana mobile, it looks very good. Even though I don't use Solana as much as say BNB or Ethereum.
Sure.
I do use my mobile a lot for sort of crypto transactions and things, and having this Ledger Nano X is quite useful, to be on the go and not have to be tethered with the little Nano S to my phone. A lot of people say using the Bluetooth perhaps isn't as secure as it could be, and
Sure.
especially at there was I've forgotten what it's called, but like a hacking convention. I forget the name of it. And basically, people there say do not use Bluetooth in any capacity at all. So that's made me a little bit worried about using Bluetooth in general. But sort of having this Nano X is good, but having it integrated with that phone, it could be very interesting. So exciting times ahead, and I think a lot more blockchains projects will start to integrate blockchain technology into the phone. It does seem to an extent archaic in the sense that you have to have different devices and it's not already built in. Obviously, there's not sort of mass adoption yet of blockchain, and I think that's why. Would it be cost efficient for say Apple to implement some type of ledger type device into their products? Probably not. But that is a discussion for a different day. Anyway, but back to Hyperspace. Obviously, you offer your own services on your site, your own marketplace, and also minting as well. Would you be able to tell us about the advantages of using Hyperspace to maybe mint a project, list a project directly on there?
Yeah, I think we're really good about covering the entire life cycle of a project. Actually, some alpha for you is that we're about to launch a feature that allows you, quite literally you, to mint a project or mint a NFT by uploading a picture and having it turn into a Solana NFT. Currently, we're working largely with projects or company partners that want to launch a collection, which is a more curated process. Coming from M&A myself, it's kind of like investment banking in the sort where you're advising and consulting, and then also providing the technology and the network alongside that package. But soon enough, if you want to turn your picture or BSC News Live logo into an NFT, you'll be able to do that through our site. If you navigate on our site, there's minting, trading, resources, and social activity. I think it's good to see that flow from left to right, where you're able to soon mint your own or work with us to launch your project. Then look for other projects that are also dropping. Then go on to trade, be able to list those projects or get it verified, and look through every listing, every NFT within a collection, even make bids, trade through different mempools and various marketplaces within the ecosystem. And then once you build a project yourself, use our resources, use our APIs to continue to support the various needs that you might have. And then lastly, I think social activity is something that we added recently, where NFT is really about social activity within this ecosystem. And I think that ability to track what people are doing is always fun. It's good to see what the top traders are doing, what your favorite influencer is dumping, and see what your friends are up to. I think for Hyperspace directly, when you're looking at trading, there's largely two components, as you mentioned earlier. There's listing directly on Hyperspace or using Hyperspace listings, and also aggregation, as I mentioned before. We're probably the aggregator of choice given our user interface, our user experience, but also just our ability to quickly aggregate it and give the everyday trader the ability to do it across all marketplaces and AMMs. Given our direct listings, I can remind you from earlier that you're able to keep the NFT in your wallet, given its escrowless, lowest fees across all marketplaces and respecting creator royalties. It's probably what sets us apart.
It's very good. Obviously, because other marketplaces offer their own sort of analytics on their site and stuff, which is great. But yeah, it's good being able to sort of have that aggregated and also free. Because I think it might have been like a year ago or so that there used to be this NFT service that I used to pay to get these sort of analytics. But then more and more places like yourself started to offer them for free. Which is good. I think, there just used to be less people with the technical know-how. It just used to be even more niche than it is now. Not saying that it's niche now, but I think it's very, very useful Indeed, sort of, what you're offering is essentially, well, in my personal opinion, like a one-stop shop for Solana.
Feel free to scroll down our website, and that's actually our slogan.
Oh, really?
Maybe not on the site, but if you go on the homepage.
Oh, yeah.
Go all the way down. I hope it's still there. Watch out for all things Solana NFTs.
There we go. And
There we go.
I can guarantee listeners and things that I didn't do that on purpose. That was just totally spur of the moment. Yeah, it's very. I think what you're doing is very good. So hyperspace.xyz or XYZ, if you're from the UK, is how to get to Hyperspace. Obviously, you have. I'm just going to quickly get your Twitter and Discord links correct as well. So if you just type in Hyperspace into Twitter, it should be the first result. However, Hyperspace XYZ is the correct place to go to view them on Twitter and obviously learn more about them there. They also do have a Discord. I'm not going to click the Discord because that'll bring up an alternative Discord account that I have that I perhaps don't want popping up. Do you have a Discord vanity link?
We do. It's also Hyperspace XYZ.
Fine. Good. Yeah, easy to remember. So discord.gg/hyperspace_xyz for their Discord. But thank you very, very much for your time, Brian. It's been eye-opening. I do find talking to people outside of, my little BNB BSC ecosystem very, very interesting. I'm not saying that BNB or BSC is small, sure. But that's where I spend most of my time, sort of in the EVM space. Is there anything that I've not asked you or that we've not talked about that you'd like to bring up at all?
No, I think this has been a fascinating experience. I'm a big fan of talking to people in general. I think it's important to your point, get out of our own circles, especially because Web3 is a pretty niche-driven industry. It's easy to be stuck within a vacuum, just deep inside what you're building, who you're around. So it's good to see and take a more outside perspective. Always also good to practice shilling whatever you're building and just the ability to stand up for the ecosystem yourself. Hyperspace continues to build. I think we're always going to be at the forefront of championing Solana and then perhaps more. We're always open to conversation. If you're looking to get into Solana, if you're looking to get into Web3, I'm personally available. Hyperspace is always available. And looking forward to doing more with BSC News.
Looking forward to doing more with you also. Thank you very, very much for your time, Brian. As listeners as well, thank you very much for joining us. And I hope you've learned more about Solana and obviously Hyperspace as well. But Brian, it's great to have you here. And we do hope to do more. We're doing these lives every day. 3 p.m. It is going to change to 5 p.m. In about a week or so, but we'll address that when it comes. No big deal. But thank you very much, Brian. Great to speak to you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. The view of your window, by the way, looks really really nice. Obviously, it's very like buildingy, but I think that's cool because my window is just mud and trees. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, Brian, and thank you very, very much for joining us again. And speak soon. Thank you.
Bye, Tom.
Bye-bye. Listeners, once again, at the start or sort of halfway through this stream, I need to use some Vaseline on my lips. My camera and the light is really sort of showing up those cracked bad boys. Anyway, moving on. I mentioned Bloxroot, which can protect you from front running. I move a bit away from the camera and do this. Front running and sandwich attacks. I'm going to show the QR code on the screen now, and that is tiny. Very small. Anyway, it's not how it used to look. Is there any way that we can make that bigger? Not at the second. Okay, so here we are. Okay, I'm going to make... There we go. Double QR coded for you. So this is Bloxroot. So it can protect you from front-running sandwich attacks. All you need to do is add it as a custom RPC URL to your MetaMask. Very, very easy to do. And completely free for retail users like myself, who just trade occasionally, maybe up to 50 times a day on PancakeSwap. Not that I do that at all. It's maximum a couple of times or something. But all you need to do is add that custom RPC URL to your MetaMask, and you'll be able to use their RPC URL and not get front run and not get sandwich attack, because it can make you pay a price in your trades that is not great at all. So that is Bloxroot. It's definitely worth doing. I personally recommend it. Obviously, we can't give financial advice or anything, but I personally use this as my BNB chain RPC URL. Anyway, listeners, once again, it has been wonderful talking to you, and I think it's great to sort of have different projects come on from different chains. I do look forward again to more of these episodes. Tomorrow we have the one, the only Binary X coming on the show. Obviously, they've been listed on Binance for a while now. It'll be interesting to sort of go through their ecosystem and talk to their team as well. So that is tomorrow, 3 p.m. UTC. Same place, same time. There we go. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much once again for tuning in. It has been a blast. I'm going to see now if we have any an outro music or anything, but I don't think we have. Great. Well, it's been good talking to everyone. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and speak very, very soon. Bye-bye.